like in the 360 camera. Is it recording now so you can see?
I started now.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. It's annoying because you need
Hello.
to. Hello. From Ljubljana. It's annoying is because it doesn't have a record button.
Do you have to do with the app?
Yeah.
But it's the same with the Insta360, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you position it, then you don't have to go,
Yeah.
then you don't see yourself in the image.
Yeah, but in the wild, you just want to like shoot it. I mean, this is different purpose, so I understand. Okay. I don't know, like when people ask me the favorite animal, actually this is funny because let's do this exercise because that was from Krut. What's your, well actually you have to write it down, but okay, let's keep it simple. What's your favorite animal?
My favorite animal.
Yeah.
But the
Favorite is different from what you said. Yeah.
my favorite animal. I don't know, man. I don't have one anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
And the second favorite animal?
Okay. Right. Yes.
And third?
Yes.
Yes. So, for me, I wrote penguin. The second one is polar bear, and the third one is fish. I even thought I should have done like just write penguin. I know it's cheating.
No, but that's what I thought actually.
Yeah. So the first one is the one that you want to be.
Oh, I did this exercise in Pavlov.
Yeah.
No, but tell me your interpretation. Maybe I have a different one. Yes.
What do you mean the interpretation?
Like the reading of this, somebody was doing that to us, and then they was telling us afterward. This first animal is this, and the second animal is that, and the third one is that.
Yeah,
but
I didn't get. So actually you have to write why you like this animal. Like when people ask me, like first favorite. So for me, like a penguin, and they can swim fast. They eat fish, something like this. And then actually the answer is that. So the first one is what you want to be, and these are the reasons why you want to be, you want to have this skill or okay. So if I write I like penguin because they can swim fast. So
okay.
I want to be a penguin and I want to swim fast.
Okay.
And the second one is how others think about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the third one?
The third one is what you actually are.
Yes. For us, like the exercise was, the first question was, I think was an animal. The second one was a color, and the third one was a body of water. Yes. A body of water, like waterfall. I don't know, water. A body of water. Like an ocean, river, lake, a body of water.
Okay.
And I think it was the same. The first one is like the animal is like it speaks about you. The second one was about about the people you're looking for. And the third one was like the sex you like to have.
The body of water.
The body of water.
Okay.
And it was so twisted. It was hilarious. It was hilarious because you have to read them out loud at the end. The person is reading out loud. So, so this person was this and this, and so it's like really hilarious. It's like
actually we did the same. Like not everyone, but if you want, because always we have this microphone. So you go to this stage and talk about it. I think I have to. So, what we're talking about HCI, actually...
Talking about cross-sectionality. Differentiation between these things that make so complicate your life, man. Like when you do an application, I mean, by now I know these things, at least in Belgium, how they see it. Because in each country also it's a bit different. But in Belgium, you have to choose, and they have this system. Kiosk is very great. I mean, I'm very grateful for the system, but it's also very stiff. So you have to choose So you can be an artist, you can be you can speak about interdisciplinarity, transdisciplinarity, or cross-disciplinarity, or cross-sectional disciplines. And we were speaking of this because like there's something that I'm lacking, and I think I want to aim my PhD more in that direction. In my portfolio, yeah, this is something that I know I'm lacking. Like this idea of cross-sectional art, or something that is applied into society. Like an example of cross-sectional art will be working with all people, like Paola, for instance. There is a clear problem, and then through art you try to, in a way or another, tackle that place. And then we were speaking on your research.
Yeah, and actually, like I kind of like written down. This was yesterday. I wrote a long email to not to Nuno because I know it. Well, okay, it's not his strength. Well, he does like participatory design. It is. But anyways, I wrote to another professor in Tallinn University. So I'm gonna read this.
What was the intention of the email?
Well, I'll read it.
Okay.
Hi, Kai. I hope you're having a lovely summer. I have been reading on meta theories on interaction design, such as intermediate level knowledge, annotated portfolios, strong concepts, where they propose knowledge residing between design artifacts and theories. For example, some features that are abstracted from the artifact so that others can translate it into another artifact, yet not abstract as a theory. I found this interesting paper, but only cited 8 times. The link. They extracted intermediate level knowledge as tarot cards and proposed to use them for brainstorming.
Interesting.
The user study part feels a bit weak, but I love the concept of how to translate knowledge into HCI and feedback to new designs.
Makes sense.
I feel HCI papers at the moment are quite fragmented. People overly value research through design so that everyone comes up with a different prototype and there's no place to review relevant projects at once. So I love the tarot idea as a concept of how to boil it down and make an essence of the research field. I am familiarizing myself with the idea of research through design and found good terms: use before use and design after design. Reference. So the resulting artifacts are designed afterwards. I start to understand this, and also I understand that prototypes are used before being used. That is participatory design. Now for my research, I'm trying to figure out my target group. Parenthesis. Dancers, but what age group? How much experience do they have? What type of contemporary dance? Are they able or mixed able? The latter, are they in a wheelchair, blind, deaf, or with developmental disorder, or their intersection? I see that, as I listed, there are so many variables. Compared to the design after design, I feel the use before use for participatory design part is often overlooked, and people don't talk about the justification of the target group as much. Or they just use convenient design, who's around, basically. Also, I'm curious how these variables can be manipulated close to a classical scientific approach. For example, compare interviews of a group with somatic practices versus a group with modern dance. I kind of simplified it. To be more concrete, when we talk about prototyping and iterative design, is it possible to adjust the variables of the target group on the way? For example, the first prototype may be received well by the first group with able bodies, but what about mixed abled bodies? I can imagine this is not a common approach because normally researchers have a fixed target group to work with. But in my case, I see contemporary dance community as a pool of numerous different practices, and I was at the biggest contemporary dance festival, the biggest contemporary dance festival in Vienna last week, which I have been to many times, and again I realized each dancer has a different practice, and I imagine myself being fluid to work with this person and that person depending on how my prototypes are received. Any input is appreciated, and I hope you have a great summer. And she replied quite quick. She's on vacation, but still in September. I mean, she's interested, and also like proposed to meet with another professor as well at Tallinn University. Yes, so this is my thesis. I don't know. Actually, it was written well. I was surprised reading this. So that was the intention, like what I was talking before of like participatory design, but like what are the variables and how to project that to like this knowledge generation part later, and also like how the parallel with ethnographic study, different bodies, different skin colors, different brains.
Yeah, it makes sense. So, but if I understand then, like, I mean, the problem that you will have, as I understand, is that if you want to work with dancers, like, then dancers will have different practices, right?
Right.
So then, a classical target approach from design is not working.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Like from HCI-ish.
But this is very interesting because it's like this is exactly like what this class that I was thinking about, autoethnography, self-theory, self-writing. It's all about. There was like mainly and there was a lot of discussion in the group. I was not so active, but I was following in recordings. I was active the first two classes. Is that mainly, and there was a lot of discussion. There was like to work, to write, to think, to essence, finding what is essence in a subject, and what is essential. So, like this idea of the essence is something that is abstract and is situated within a person, and then depending on the framework that you need to put it out, you put it out. So then I have an essence, and it goes back to positioning that in philosophy. Somehow it comes from Tomás de Aquino and some people speak about the essence. This comes from the same like this idea of the essence. What is the essence of a thing? That it comes from the idea of God. Originally, the God is everywhere. So the essence is God there. That's a singular unit. And then next to it, then you have like essentialism, which is the opposite. Like essentialism is something that you do are formalist compromises. That's what anthropologists do. Like that is like, and that's the whole criticisms about it is like, if you want to put it like in a good bad perspective, like essentialisms are really toxic because it's what people study and then say about certain communities in order to study them. So they make certain generalizations.
Okay.
That is about essentialisms. It's not the essence because the essence is singular. Essentialism is about a group. It's about something that is more. You can think as a plural thing. Okay. Essentialism you can bring it to kind of a unit if you want a person, but the other one is about a group. The essentialisms, for what I understood in this class was. That's the whole point that this guy on Tunji is making about it. Is like a guy studying in Europe, but he goes and working he's from South Africa, but he learned to do, he did his academic career in Europe. And he's trying, so he makes the critique, like this thing that already I shared with you in the past. But at the end, he's saying that you need to apply academical rigor. And that's the whole thing around what it is that actually I don't know, but it is because you have to define it yourself. So that, for instance, when you read the text that I wrote yesterday, it has an academic rigor from my side. That's not the way how I normally write. So you have to define what, depending also the context, because at the end is what you said yesterday, that I completely agree with you, is you need to find storytelling. But the way how you storytell something is unique in your language and unique in my language because it comes from an essence of what are we as individuals, but it's unique in us. That it has to be attached to the essentialisms. That is what it makes possible to other people to read and through their essence find empathy or not in what is being said. And this idea of essentialism, what it becomes in the class, was very problematic because you need to basically kind of constantly saying like, is this correct?
but it's not about mathematics. It's not something that is formal. It's about cultural assumptions at the core. And the thing is, you don't want to stay in a political discussion all the time. You want, like, the idea that you want to go somewhere in the discussion, so you have to situate it within your essence. Everybody has essence, but you need to find common ground that at the end are political hooks or political corners. Anyway, it's like, without going too long into that, I'm attaching what you're saying into this discussion between essence and essentialisms. It's a dialogue between these things. One thing cannot be without the other, because you want to speak to the outer.
Yes, yeah. Thanks for that, because I think it's like,
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean, what's different or like
Spinoza. Sorry, just a clarification. Was Spinoza the one who speaks about essence?
Okay.
Sorry.
What is particular in HCI is that it's not we're not interested, or like that's not like the main goal to like make the essence or like generalize certain population, right? I mean, okay, we could do it in terms of like for this type of dancers, we can make a tool like this, like this. What Nuno was the poster basically, kind of this guideline for what was that, audience interaction?
Mm-hmm. Just practices mediated out something.
Yeah, so that's like a more like but still it's about the design of the performance or design of the artifact.
And
not about talking about the population that is interested in. So that's slight difference, but still like we need to make a generalization in terms of like if you want to talk about design guidelines, for example.
Design guidelines for what?
For the designers to make something with this target.
Oh wow! So yes, like essentialisms about the population of dancers. Is it different? Yeah, you use a different word, but yes, of course. Yeah, because you need to help the designer.
So in a way, it is like essentialism, because we're kind of talking about okay, this group want this kind of design.
Yes.
In the end, it's actually the same thing.
What is like it's the same thing, but what I found is very tricky is like because in this place that we are, like in this class, is about auto theory. So it's just writing. So saying like there is not a formal artifact on that more than the text. The text is the artifact. While in your case you have like there's an interface.
So this is also like what I'm interested right now. I mean, I've been reading a lot about. So this is more about design after design part.
What do you mean with design after design?
So design after design is like, well, kind of emphasizing that you're not like you don't have like a blueprint or like designing something and make something, but it's more about you make something and then you justify the design later. Like why does it work, and then how does it feed forward to the next design?
Okay.
Because we don't go.
Wait, because no, wait, maybe I don't interrupt you there. Like, please go ahead.
Do you need more explanation?
It's just like I have more a problem with my concept, but I think I understand what you mean. Like just like, and then maybe I can clarify.
I mean, maybe just like a little bit, like for example, like just make a concrete example, but like if I work with dancers, it's wrong if I come with the idea that maybe they want motion capture, so I design something with motion capture and let's try it. But instead, we just bring motion capture with something more touch designer that I can work with them on the fly, and then we try to work together, and something shows up, motion capture and touch designer patch that we made with the dancers, and then after that we can start to theorize sort of like why this worked, why they didn't like particles but they like this block, for example. So that's like design after design, this idea. And what was the question? Or what were we talking about?
We were talking.
You said because you said the writing is as an artifact because because and I think this is the problem, like going back to this idea of like inflated or bloated with this artifacts, and the whole HCI field is just like papers about artifacts. I made this part worked well, this part didn't work.
Yeah.
And the problem is that there's
Can you imagine?
like for the last 10 years especially, like people started to talk about like we can't just write papers because this is a specific format that can tell some things effectively, but for example videos can tell stories better in some cases, or it can be a demo, or it can be performance, right? And this is great because then we can really and it can be text itself, I mean, but not as a paper.
Yeah.
Right? And this really diversified, because this is what HCI needs. But because we're situated in an academic context, we have to write papers. And this is the big problem I see. I mean, of course, I am doing PhD and I have to write papers to finish my PhD. But then, like, is there other ways to transfer or like to disseminate knowledge? Because video can also disseminate knowledge, right?
Yeah, I see.
And that can be this like autobiography, or anything. It can be this chat. Then I have to cite this chat in my paper, for example. But I think this is like
Wait, like just wait there, because there was something I think yeah, I think that in relation to the essentialism, the form and the artifact way. The essentialism, because you speak, you write, or you use the form, like a text form. There is something I still don't understand it, and I don't know how to put it, but I'll try. So, this idea of like negotiate between the essence of a person and the essentialisms of a group of persons. To write something about something that is relevant for different people. I'm still having. I mean, I can see that because that's part of it, what the class I was about. But when you think, for instance, in building an interface, like a digital interface, so you're we're in the same process, and finding the essence, and then negotiation with the essentialist characteristic of a group of people. So we are together, but then at the moment to start working on the artifact, so like one way is the text, and the other one is like building an interface. It is digital. I have problems imagining that.
And I think the word artifact is not a good word, because I think I'm mixing up like the text can be artifact. Well, yes and no, because it depends on what we say, like how situated, and how we use the word artifact.
Yeah.
I think in papers they talk about design artifacts. So it's the interface or whatever that is you develop as in the iterative design, and this is a design artifact. I don't know, some app, can be an app, or it can be.
But I think you're passing like yes and no, because I think it's important, because at the core is like the text is fundamental. It's basically that the text is what gives entry point to other people, like one-to-one, as an informal exercise of saying yes or no to you. So
Is it?
I don't know.
Like,
What I'm saying is, like, maybe it's not my position, but what I understand, like the world does, that is like it's through the text and understanding you are crazy, you're not crazy. It's through like the form and how you can express yourself with words. Yeah. But when we speak about an artifacts, then then I think it's important then to situate what the text, when the text, because the text can be an artifact, but then you have to know that's an artifact. That's not part, that the text is not, you see what I mean? You, like the text can be an artifact and then, but then you know that the text is an artifact and then you work on the text as an artifact. But the text can just have the normal life of the text and be the support of an artifact, for instance.
Yeah, I totally agree. What I was saying is just terminology.
Yeah, that me too. But that's what I'm saying. I'm slowing down because I think there's a lot of potential, especially because of what you mentioned. I think there's a lot of potential. That's what art is good at. Or for instance, I've seen people in choreography doing, like Martin was good at doing these things. They decompose or using choreographically text. So then the text, that is the text, becomes an artifact. It's an artwork.
Yeah, we need to find the right word. I mean, we can stick to artifacts, then we can separate design artifacts as something else. I mean, it's a type of artifact.
I'm getting a bit hungry.
Yeah. I don't know what. You want to go to the Indian place?
It's 12 maybe. When?
I'm fine. I mean, I'd be fine either way, but if I were going to eat, I would eat.
The Indian?
I don't feel like Indian today,
I think I need to have a coffee downstairs first.
Okay.
And maybe like now it's almost 12, like eating like at 1 sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, Indian sounds good. You wanna eat Indian?
Yeah. At 1?
At 1, yeah. Yeah, let's eat at 1.
Okay, so I'll close the chat
Yes.
from my phone, because that's the only way I can close it. So thanks for watching.
How the quality of that video? What is the resolution?
It's 1080p. But also, like, it was like overkill. Like yesterday, I used this little camera with 2.7K, and the conversion takes forever. So
This one.
no, like the
The small one. Yeah, the conversion of that sucks.
yeah. Okay. Thanks for watching. See you.